So I don't know what is that, but someone came inside and they burned something there. It could be a ritual, but you could see that even people sleep here. Look over there. What if I could tell you that Coca-Cola is one of the reasons why these planes ended up here? What if I tell you that Iran used one of these planes as a private plane for their king for years? Here's the thing, 2 planes sitting in the middle of a Zimbabwean town, not in a museum, not on a runway. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chegutu, and this is the story the world has forgotten. Today I'll be going inside the planes and check what is really happening inside. Chegutu, a quiet town about 115 kilometers away from Harare, the capital, used to be called Hartley, named after a gold prospector. Back when this land wore a different name entirely, but today most people drive through Chegutu without even blinking. But here's the thing, guys, if you slow down, you will see something that will stop you cold. 2 enormous planes mounted on concrete, right there in the middle, in the open air. No fence, no security guard, no entrance fee at all, just planes. There is an abandoned plane there, and there is another one here. And the original plan why these planes are here is a restaurant. The businessmen who managed to put these planes here wanted to start a business that was going to shock the whole of Zimbabwe, I would say the whole of Africa, because we have never seen anything like this. He wanted to turn these 2 planes to a restaurant. So I am here in Chegutu, a small town in Zimbabwe, and I'm going to tell you about the history about these 2 planes that you see here. And no one is here. For years and years, I'm sure that those who are watching this video, they know that they've passed through here in Chegutu, going to Victoria Falls, going to Gweru, and they've never seen any activity happening here. So today we're going to attempt to get into these planes to see what is really inside these abandoned planes. Now, here is what most people don't know. These are not just any old planes. These are British built planes once considered the crown jewel of commercial aviation. But more than that, one of these exact aircraft was used as a personal luxury jet for the king of Iran. The same king who wore a crown worth 60 million US dollars, who ruled a kingdom of ancient Persia, who had the world bowing at his feet. That man flew in these planes that you see on your screen, and now it's sitting in a park in Chegutu. So that you see here, that's the cockpit. That's the cockpit. And like I said, when I was inside, I could not manage to go to the cockpit because there was a lot of stuff there. It's a good hiding spot for snakes. I could not risk my life and the camera guy's life. But the idea of making these planes restaurants, that was a genius idea from this guy. And if I'm not mistaken, even before he passed, he was a millionaire. This guy was a genius. The guy who came up with the original plan of making this whole thing a restaurant is a genius, I say that. January 1961, one of these 2 planes was converted to VIP standard and handed over to the government of Iran.
Thanks for flying with us. Have a great day.
It became the personal aircraft of King Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. One of the most powerful men on the planet at that time. He was feared. Think about that for a moment. This plane, this same aircraft now rotting in the Zimbabwean heat, once carried a man who sat on the peacock throne, a man surrounded by generals, oil barons, and foreign dignitaries. A man who once wore a crown studded with 3,755 jewels. He flew in this plane. So guys, this is the inside of the plane. But what I am mostly afraid of right now, if I'm to be honest, is snakes. So I'm seeing something was burned on the corner there. Can you show them? Come. So I don't know what is that, but someone came inside and they burned something there. It could be a ritual, but you could see that even people sleep here. Look over there. That is someone setting up a fire over there. So honestly, this is the inside, and that is the cockpit. So guys, I can't do much. So this is the entrance of the plane. If you are getting into a plane, most of you know that this is the entrance that you use. And that over there, can we go there? So I don't know. Honestly, this is dangerous. Give me the camera. So that was the back of the plane. Let's go to the front. So we have to be extra careful everywhere we step. It's a trip. We have to be really careful because this thing is very, very old. Now I'm thinking, it's very dark this side. I have to be extra careful if I'm to go forward to the cockpit. Really careful. I can't. The king of Iran was not the only royal to grace this aircraft. April 1965, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth stepped aboard. She was on a royal tour of Australia, smiling for the cameras, waving, and she flew in this exact same plane. The same plane with cracked windows and faded paint. The same plane where children in Chegutu today sometimes dare each other to climb inside. Now most of you are asking this question: how did these planes ended up in Zimbabwe exactly at this point? So after everything, the plane ended up in the hands of Air Zimbabwe. The planes crossed the continents, it changed uniforms, it changed names, and then in November 1990, it was withdrawn from service. Here's where the story takes a turn. March 1997. And we have to respect the sheer audacity of this person, Edward Fugari, who passed on in 2019. This man passed on a millionaire with a net worth over 20 million US dollars. One day he walks into a meeting with Chegutu's council, Air Zimbabwe executives and representatives from Coca-Cola, and pitches the following idea: let's dismantle the two retired royal aircraft, transport them by road 100 kilometers away from Harare. Back in 1997, he saw a business opportunity and took it. So after pitching his idea, the Coca-Cola Corporation sponsored it. Air Zimbabwe donated the planes. Chegutu's council approved it. The planes were painted in bold Coca-Cola red and white. Tables and chairs were fitted inside the cabins. They called it the Flying Pot Restaurant. A good idea if I'm looking at the picture now, but back then I don't think that when people were looking at the whole thing, they did not see an opportunity. Imagine this: a warm Saturday evening in 1997. Families driving out from Chegutu and the surrounding farms. Children pressing their noses to the oval windows. The smell of sadza and grilled meat drifting from inside this exact plane. The restaurant never opened, or if it did, it closed almost immediately. No records remained, no receipt, no reviews at all, no photographs of a single meal ever being served there. The Flying Pot Restaurant never fed a single customer, but it fed something else. It fed our imagination, and 29 years later, people are talking about it. If you're watching my videos for the first time, I'm kindly asking if you can subscribe and like the video. It really helps this channel a lot. Thank you so much for watching this far.